I gave it an 8. What's up, guys? We're live.
Oh my God.
Jason, you should go back and Jason, look, book report. All right, you should go back. Hey guys, welcome to Three Guys and a Mic. We're talking about NFL season 2021 recap tonight. Season review. That's what it says. Season review.
It's 2022 technically.
Yeah. Hey, we're just going to review the NFL season here and give our Super Bowl predictions. So if you want to skip all this shit right here off the top, look for that. Look for that timestamp. That's probably not going to be there anytime soon. And you can skip all this and just go right to the main content. Okay. Back to this. Jason, book report.
What? Book report.
I know you're stupid, and that for some reason you feel like you can't go back and listen to Megadeth. And listen, I was stupid once too. Okay, I used to think that Megadeth was the shittiest band in the world. Okay, and let me tell you a little story. They are far from it.
Okay.
All right, I think you should go back and listen to Rust in Peace.
Rust in Peace. That is your recommend best Megadeth album of all time.
What did that album get a total score, Dave?
Oh, well, the problem is it was drugged down by Adrian, who didn't actually like it too much, but he got a 19.33. It is literally sitting at the top. It is the best score that has been given out by far.
So I consider under 20 a great. That you consider that a great album.
Yeah. Well, we both gave it 10 or less, so we consider that legendary status.
Yeah, Dave and I consider it to be a masterpiece.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when I'll get around to it once I get done, drowning in this, what is amazing Anthrax.
This is a good era for Anthrax. We're lucky.
Yes. Now, on that subject, I was talking to Adrian. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but given how long I've stepped away from Megadeth, there are albums from them that I have not had any desire to go back to, and so I am contemplating updating my scores for some of them, just to reflect the fact that I've had time away, and I realize I might not ever listen to them again.
You know what solves that, Dave?
What's that?
You know what solves that?
What?
Getting it right the first time, fuckhead.
Well, that's not exactly fair and relevant.
I don't know. I mean, also we're trying to force feed ourselves Slayer and Anthrax and all this other stuff right now. Like, it's not to say that you couldn't go back to Megadeth, but I mean, you're also actively trying to listen to these other bands right now, and
correct.
I assume maybe you're going back to some other type of a palate cleanser, maybe something more modern and heavy or something. But
yeah, well, for me, the main albums that I've gone back to is really only a couple. I've gone back to Rust in Peace, I've gone back to Dystopia, I've gone back to The System Has Failed, and that's really it.
Yeah, I've gone back to Rust in Peace, Super Collider, and a couple of songs on System Has Failed.
But I look at Cryptic Writings and I'm like, it's fine, but I don't know how that I'm ever gonna just throw it on.
What did you give
Yeah,
it?
I gave it a 38.
Okay, well, see, that's to me a 38 is an album. That's a grade that you give an album that you might go back to at some point.
Yeah, I've just cherry picked the best songs from those albums in a lot of cases and just put them on my main playlist. So I mean, I have The Killing Road. Trying to think from Cryptic Writings, what's on that? Is that Whose Life Is It Anyway? Is that on that album, or is that on 13? Maybe it's on 13.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't revisited In-Game or 13. I feel like I liked In-Game more at the time, but I got no desire to go back to it.
13 was not good. I don't think we scored 13 very good either.
No, it got a 43 overall. In-Game got a 37. Super Collider and Dystopia were very well received. Except you didn't care for Dystopia, actually. That was another one. Me and Adrian really, really liked it, and you didn't.
Yeah, I was kind of in between. I didn't really know how to feel about it. It was I give it 50.
Maybe you were getting Megadeth fatigue at the time.
I'm gonna need one of y'all to get this bone over here. This bone.
I got a bone.
Yeah, no, the puppy's got this fucking bone. The thing weighs like 5 pounds.
Well,
Tamara, come pick this bone up.
Yeah, Tamara, come pick this bone up.
Over on this side, the love bone.
we're never gonna get sponsored. It's never gonna happen ever.
What?
Well, if it's never gonna happen, we might as well have some fun, Dave.
Hey, shout out my son. He's got his YouTube channel is up to. Let me just pull it up while I'm wallowing in
so
my
sad
own misery. Let's see.
Say what was it last time? Like 250? I'm gonna say
No, it was never. It was never that high. By the way, it was never that
183.
High. No,
175. 200.
It's 183 actually.
Oh.
Yeah, 183.
What are we at? 49.
47.
Catching up.
Yeah.
I mean, look, my son puts out like multiple videos a day.
Crazy.
Because he's a kid and he doesn't have shit to do, so that's what happens. He's asked me if he wants to give me a shout out in this video. Now I was like,
you need the help.
No, he's like, Dad, Dad, do you want me to give you a shout out? I could get my subscribers to subscribe to you. And I was like, no, Daniel, your subscribers are like children. They can't watch our content. I don't want to get any kid in trouble. I was like, I appreciate it though.
One of Daniel's friends is in the car on the way to school. Mom, put it on. And she clicks it and she got me over there going, dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I don't want any part of that. So.
Oh my God.
But all right, let's y'all ready to go or what?
Let's go. Hey, do you want to do the intro, Josh? Or you want me to?
No, I'll do it. What are we doing? World of Warcraft pod?
Yeah.
I wish.
That's the one.
World of Warcraft in review.
No, you have to start. You have to start about. It's like, hello and welcome to Three Guys and a Mic presents For the Alliance. Your pod to everything in the name of Azeroth. I am your co-host.
Jesus, Dave, we have to save that.
Yeah. Of course, as soon as somebody heard For the Alliance, they'd be like, eh.
Yeah.
I'm only here for the Horde content.
I was going to say, only Horde. Oh, man.
Didn't we all make at least one Horde character?
I did for a second, but dude, I hated the Horde cities. Like trying to walk around in like Orgrimmar and stuff. No, yeah. I'm good. Stormwind, baby.
I don't know if I did or not. Like maybe I did, but I didn't play it very long.
I think I had like a goblin mage or something like that.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Up to Tremor Totem, Dave.
Dude, I still vividly remember when we were doing Utgard Pinnacle. When that happened, it was in that room where we kept getting feared, right? And we would pull the aggro from the other room. And dude, I remember it was late at night. I was like not happy, and then y'all were saying that, and I was like, dude, just pretend I don't have it. Dude, I
don't have it on my taskbar.
Yeah, I didn't have it. Dave. Yeah, dude, I was a fail. I don't know what was I was enhancement shaman. What was I trying to do over there? I don't know.
Weren't you trying to heal or something?
I was at one point, and I just didn't like it.
I didn't mind healing. I think I healed some with my priest.
I remember Josh tanking in that ret gear. Oh, let's save that content. That's good content.
Yeah, it's good content.
Nobody knew any different, all right? Nobody knew any better.
Except for the healer.
Yep, man.
You're soft.
Man, the Nexus. Those Nexus mobs were not fucking around.
Is this a boss?
Oh, my God. That's such an embarrassing question.
Hey, I'm just trying to think. I'm being dead serious. If you take us at the point where we were really going at it, as far as like trying to down the Lich King, if we had drugged somebody along into Nexus and they were like, oh my God, was that a boss fight? Like, We just
that person would have been kicked.
Edison. Yeah. Edison.
We were like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
No, there'd have been no words. There'd have been no words. That's how when we were at a certain point, we became that cold. I remember just literally.
On the blank has been kicked from the.
Yeah, literally, you would just see this person, and they would just slowly disappear because they got kicked out of the dungeon. Dude, we were
just tormented.
We were not nice. We weren't even nice to our own guild members.
But you know what? Look, as long as the people we picked up weren't like talking shit or shitheads or something like that, dude, we just fucking backpack them all the way through all those dungeons.
No, yeah, we didn't really. Now we would inspect gear and we would make fun of them privately, but we wouldn't we wouldn't besmirch. You know, we wouldn't shame them or anything like publicly.
It would be me and Dave and Gimp. It would tell everybody else, get out of the fire.
Yes.
Get out of the poison. Watch out for the snakes.
Move.
Get out of the fire. Move, Yannicka.
Richard, move. Richard, stop attacking. Let Josh get the aggro. Stop attacking.
This is all while we're just DPSing the shit out of everything.
And then we'd have nope, pick up the ads. Get the ads. Stop DPSing the boss. Let Josh just tank that. Go get the fucking worms. Group them up. Oh, dude, I wanted to fucking die sometimes in those Discord. Oh, do we have to give him our vent server? And it's like, I guess. And then we have to as soon as they answer hello, it'd be somebody all timid and shit. And be like, God damn it. Have you ever done this fight? No, I haven't. And it's like,
where'd you get this gear?
Oh my god!
I bought it off the auction house. It's a good set.
I'm like, dude, why you got red gems, and you're an intellect based class. You're a boomkin with strength gems. What are you doing? Why do you have dex gems, and your intellect? That's all you need. All int.
Hey, did you bring mana potions?
What are those?
Oh, I didn't know I was.
Or they're being in half PvP gear, half PvE gear. They're just going off of the item level. They don't even know what they. Man, dude. Can we start this already?
Oh shit!
The day that we do a WoW podcast is gonna be great.
Actually, hold on.
The problem is we got to figure out how to try and structure it.
I know, and that's the problem is because we keep rolling into stuff.
I mean, in reality, it could just be more of if we do another live show where we're all in the same room.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better suited for that kind of environment.
Like a free form.
Yeah.
Man, we'd have to. Would we have to get special? That would be if we were going to do it in a podcast. Maybe we get special guests. I don't want to name names because we're live on YouTube, but. You know,
Fred Fucks, Killer Coons.
As long as we mention Geiserick.
I think we could probably get Habby out there. Like, Habby, tell me about the time you graduated from high school. Oh yeah. I told you guys I graduated.
Look,
Josh was really mean to me.
If we could somehow get I don't want to say the group that down the Lich King because then we wouldn't be able to get Coons. Yeah. Sorry about your luck, Aaron. But maybe if we could get most of that group together, I think it would be fun.
Who was that? It was me, you, Jason, Sean, Habby, Rocker,
Vic,
Cisco, Vic.
I mean, we would get. You already say Aaron?
Richard. Well, Aaron wasn't there.
Oh yeah.
Richard, right?
Yeah.
Was there somebody else from the guild?
Yeah, we had that rogue with us, Ferocious. Because remember, it dropped fucking rogue gear.
Yeah, we did have. I remember Ferocious. Yeah, it was spelled weird, right? Like CHIS or something.
Yeah.
Well,
that dude was good though.
Yeah, it was. Okay, let's start the podcast.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the fucking dude who could tank fucking the raid from Stormwind? Wasn't that like his alt?
I don't remember.
You remember the video Cisco made? Geiserick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He could do everything.
Yeah. Wasn't that Geiserick, but just his main or something?
I don't remember if that was the case or not. I don't know if we ever did anything actually with Geiserick because he didn't even need the internet to down bosses.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man! We could actually, no joke. What if we like reacted to our old YouTube videos?
I'm down with that.
All right, can we start this podcast? Like, I feel sorry for it. We've been live for 20 minutes. Live for 20 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
Should we do the review of our videos now?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't have them pulled up.
Dave was like, "Man, this is gonna be a long podcast. We haven't even started, Dave."
Oh, bro, I know.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
I don't even know anything about football.
Oh, we know.
Hello, and welcome to Three Guys and a Mic presents the NFL Season in Review. I'm your co-host, the Human Dart, along with
Jason Tsunami
and David Disaster.
did you pause on the year or?
No. I mean, obviously, we're talking about it right now. It's got to be this season, right?
I know, but I mean, somebody's gonna listen to this epic shit like 15 years from now and be like, "What year are they talking about?"
Yeah, so
we go back.
It's the 2021 NFL season in review.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right.
There
Well,
you go.
I'll need to rename this video then because I have it as 2022.
Yeah, the season was in 2021, Dave.
Okay. All right.
Super Bowl is in 2022.
This is the season that the Houston Texans put it all together and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, it's not.
No?
About that.
Oh. That's what Dave thought was going to happen. Dave predicted Super Bowl at the beginning of the season.
I did.
He was he was on the train.
I did.
Right back into the playoffs.
Yeah. Fuck
That's-
yeah.
Playoffs.
Houston Texans for life.
I'm fairly confident I didn't have that as a prediction.
No?
Nope, I didn't.
Well, you know what, Dave? You know, it's funny you say that because I think at some point tonight we're going to talk about some of those predictions that we made at the beginning of the season.
Correct.
I love the segue. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right,
Human
let's
Fossil,
kick this
you got the agenda here. Take us down
right.
there.
Well, the 2021 season has ended. The playoffs have been reached. Super Bowl is about to start tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We couldn't have been more wrong on some of the actual two teams that are facing each other. The AFC, we have the Bengals. The NFC, represented by the Rams.
Did we even have the Bengals making it into the playoffs?
No, we did not.
We had the Rams, though, right?
Yes, we did.
Correct. We did.
Fucking geniuses.
Yeah, no. Looking at back, we were really like pretty much hit or miss for the season. But before we dive into, the actual season that parlayed out, I figured we'd just start off by hitting some of the storylines that we started off in the preseason to see if they actually meant a damn thing or not. So our first storylines of the offseason was Aaron Rodgers. From all accounts, he was playing his last season for the Green Bay Packers. Do we feel like that ended up having any effect on the success of the team in the end? I think I said it would, but we still had them reaching the Super Bowl.
We did.
Yeah. I don't look. I mean, it certainly didn't impact Aaron Rodgers. I mean, as we found out yesterday, he's the MVP of the league again for the fourth time.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
I don't know how. Go ahead.
I think we actually, one of the things we said when we were doing the playoff predictions was that the team was going to rally around him.
Yeah.
And I feel like for the most part that happened, to a degree. I mean, like, he had a killer season.
Oh, he did. I mean, they had that one bad game to start the year. And then
just that game against the Saints where they ended, 38-3?
Yeah, but then after that, it was pretty much, I don't know, it was like the Aaron Rodgers goodbye tour.
Yeah. I mean, the only other game that he missed in there was just that one COVID game, and Jordan Love started. And I think it was very apparent then that, like, he was definitely the most valuable player because Jordan Love was awful.
So
yeah, dude, it's gonna be tough.
So I'll just pose this question for you guys. Like, this is kind of going off of what our prediction was, but like, do we think Aaron Rodgers was a bit of a distraction throughout the season? Like, as far as off the field specifically.
Yeah, I mean, there was certainly all the stuff at the beginning of the season, and then you had the whole middle of the season,
like COVID.
Vaccinated, not vaccinated, and then you thing Like all his opinions became public about, whatever, vaccines and everything. I don't see how it couldn't have been a distraction because, it was all over the place for at least about 3 or 4 weeks there. Yeah. And even leading to the end of the season where there's writers talking about they weren't going to vote him to be MVP because of all his bullshit during the middle of the season.
Yeah. I truly thought it was going to be a bigger problem than it turned out to be. And as far as what I remember predicting was that somehow the team would still rally around him. They would still succeed. But by the time they got to what I thought was going to be this 2 weeks worth of media blitz, it would become a distraction. Ultimately, I don't know if it caused them to get eliminated. I know they didn't look well in that last game. Do we think that's Aaron Rodgers' legitimate last game in Green Bay?
Yeah, I was going to pose that question as well, and I guess as a second part, if you were a Green Bay fan, would you kind of be ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers?
Fuck no. Did you watch that Jordan Love game?
Exactly.
I didn't watch it, but I saw the highlights, and it looked awful.
Hey,
as a team, think about the fucking glut of just quarterback joy that Green Bay has had for 25 seasons.
Has any team in the NFL been more spoiled at the quarterback position over the last however many 22, 23, 25 years?
No,
I would have said the Colts had Andrew Luck not retired.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But Andrew Luck wasn't even. Look, he was looking fantastic, and he terrified the shit out of me as a Texans fan. But he didn't look like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Well, to your point, yes, I agree.
But that's a good comparison.
Yeah, because I think the jury's still out on Mac Jones as far as taking over, for Brady over there. So in New England, so he did look good, but
Yeah.
He didn't look good when he got to the playoffs.
Yeah, he's young quarterback.
Next storyline of the offseason that we addressed. Jaguars coaxed Urban Meyer to the NFL. He got Lawrence with the number 1 pick. Is he the guy, or how long until he's fired?
So, Jason, can you remind us, or if you don't, that's fine. Can you remind us, generally speaking, what our take was initially?
We all thought that. I thought he's a great college coach, but I think what I had said was I gave him 3 or 4 years. Josh was the one that nailed it. Basically, he said 2 years. We didn't even know he would not make it, but 3/4 of 1 year. We were all right, but man, it could not have gone any worse. Jacksonville.
I think that this has to. You guys, look, this is no secret amongst us, but you guys are definitely much more studied football fans than I am. I feel like in my brief history of being a football fan, I've only been a football fan since the 2011 season or 2011 season of the Texans. But this has got to be the worst series of events of a new coach that it's got to rank in the top 10 in history.
It might be top 5.
Look, it's absolutely the worst in recent memory. I would say it's the worst in the last 20 years. I can't speak to, anything post late 90s. But the only other thing to me that comes close is the Bobby Petrino Atlanta Falcons job. Where
is that Bobby where he Petrino, left? Is that where he left and left notes in their locker and went back to college?
Yeah. But look, here's the scenario: Bobby Petrino takes this job, right? And he's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm about to coach Mike Vick, the most electrifying player in the NFL." And then Mike Vick does what he does, goes to jail, and now he's like, "Wait, who do we got? Who's the backup?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, we got nobody. We traded away Schaub."
Yeah.
And that dude took the University of Arkansas job about 12 games later into the season.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So, yeah, the University of Arkansas is a better job than the Atlanta Falcons.
Now,
that's brutal.
To be fair, the main controversy was that he just left them basically high and dry.
Oh, in the middle of the night, basically.
But
yes.
He did. Urban Meyer had constant, like, and especially we learned a lot of this after the fact, was like he was having constant issues like throughout, like from before the season started, from like the moment he took over, it was controversy after controversy.
This guy went on a live interview on ESPN. And had a monitor that was turned off behind him so that you could actually see the reflection of what was in front of him. There's a guy in front of Urban Meyer on live TV, basically almost butt naked, smoking a water bong. And Urban Meyer is trying to make him stop, but realizes he's on live TV, so he's just like, he's spazzing out. And then follows that up by basically rubbing a girl in a bar.
That was not his wife.
It was not his wife. But not only that, it was after a game that they lost, and then he did not travel back to Jacksonville with the team. He stayed in Ohio and went to this bar that he owns, basically. It's his namesake bar, and was putting his thumb up this chick's ass, basically.
I mean, like those are bad, but he was also berating his staff.
Telling his coaches that they suck. By the way, you hired them,
and that they would be fired.
He told his staff, "I'm a winner. We're losing because you guys suck." That is just I can't believe how bad that went. And this guy got like an 8 to 10 year contract or something like that.
Yeah, I think
it was a massive deal.
Yeah, it was. And luckily he's going to get I say luckily, I don't give a fuck about the Jacksonville or the Cons here, but luckily for them, I think they're going to get to fire him for cause for, kicking the kicker and being a fucking jerk off.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, from a Texans fan, you almost wish he wouldn't have gotten fired so fast, because I feel like he would have set the Jags back like a considerable amount of time, and may have ruined Trevor Lawrence's potential. Whereas it is now, Trevor Lawrence still has a chance to turn it around in there, because he didn't. I know we're not talking about Trevor Lawrence specifically here, but Trevor Lawrence did not look fantastic this season.
No. Look, this is the shit that pisses me off too, because it's like, look, I look 100%. I'm biased about the things that I love, right? Metallica and the Houston Texans. Okay, like. Constantly in the preseason, all you hear is about how fucking shitty of an organization the Houston Texans are. We're a fucking dumpster fire. We're a poverty franchise.
All of Deshaun Watson talk. It was a tough offseason. And then and Urban Meyer was like, hold my beer. Yeah.
Go look at Jacksonville. They suck. We fucking wrecked them twice this season. Twice. And yes, look, we fired our coach at the end of the season because he wasn't great. But it's not like we fired him in the middle of the season for being a giant fuck up.
Yeah, right. There's not going to be, obviously it's, there's still time for this to be a bad take, but as of when this podcast is being recorded, there's not any bad David Culley stories about how he was running around town cheating on his significant other, or yelling or abusing players, or yelling at his coaching staff, right? For all intents and purposes, he was a well-liked guy, just, didn't get it done during the season.
Another thing that we did make it through, we did discuss, is whether or not we would make it the entire season with packed stadiums due to the virus.
Yeah.
We did. And we've made it through the playoffs, and I assume we're going to have a packed shoulder-to-shoulder Super Bowl tomorrow.
Yep.
We got that part. The last hot take that we had, and this came down literally to the last game of the season.
I know what you're going to say, and I'm just going to say, I think regardless of the technicalities here, I think we ended up being right.
That
overall.
Was that the Pittsburgh Steelers will not make the playoffs, and they had no right to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they needed all the luck in the world to win games that they shouldn't have won, and then the Chargers basically gift wrapped it for him.
That was a crazy last game of the season for either the Chargers or the Raiders to make it to the playoffs and to basically cause the Steelers to get to go when they could have just tied.
Yeah, and gone to the playoffs themselves.
Yeah.
All right, so the last part we had for the preseason, which was NFL coaches on the hot seat. Nick Fangio, Denver. Nailed
Gone.
it. Brian Flores, Miami.
Gone.
He shouldn't have been gone, though.
No.
True. Matt Nagy, the Bears.
Gone.
Frank Wright, Colts.
He's not gone.
Hey, you know what? I'm so glad he's still there.
Cliff Kingsbury, Cardinals.
That was my prediction.
Yep.
That he'd be the first one fired.
Mike McCarthy, Cowboys. And I still wish he was still fired. And I think we all owe this man an apology. Zach Taylor of the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bengals. What are they doing tomorrow?
Oh yeah, they're playing for the Lombardi.
Yeah. So Mr. Taylor, Coach Taylor, I apologize.
Yeah.
On behalf of the three guys at the mic, we apologize.
Yes.
Hey, look, to be fair, did anybody pick him?
No, but we nominated him as coach on the hot seat.
Yeah.
So he was just on our list. He wasn't like we didn't specifically call out the Bengals as or him specifically of getting termed.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
All right, so
look, that's not a good take by us.
No.
No. Storylines of this current season that is now completed that we will kind of go through here. I would say the most bizarre one of the season ended up like right towards the end of the season, and that was the Antonio Brown sideline blow-up. Have any of you ever seen anything like it?
I'm trying to think, and I think I don't have an example, but I think I would have to go outside of football. Like, I feel like I would have to go to the NBA for something even remotely similar. Like
the Ron Artest brawl in the palace or whatever the hell it was
called. Something along those lines. That's kind of the first thing that comes to mind.
The palace.
Yeah. That's
but the first thing when you started saying NBA, the first thing I thought was the bad boy Pistons walking off after Jordan and the Bulls beat them.
But I mean, in the NFL, I've seen nothing like this that I can think of.
Yeah.
I hope, like I said, I don't want to get too. It's going to turn into a he said, she said. I assume it's going to go to court. Who God only knows what it's going to be about, but I hope for the sake of Antonio Brown that he seeks help because this is just not what I would consider normal behavior.
Yeah, look, only they all know what the actual particulars are. I mean, it sounded like he was playing hurt. He didn't want to continue to play hurt, and they were pumping him. They were pumping his ankle up full of some Toradol or whatever it is to numb it. They wanted him to go back in. He didn't want to go back in, and he said, "Fuck it."
So
it just freaked out. Now that is one side of the story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I mean, what do you guys think? I'll just ask it. Do you guys think Antonio Brown plays for another team?
No.
I wouldn't think so.
You think that was it?
Because it's just been so many times now.
Yeah. The thing with this is that he kind of changed the story from one thing to another thing, and then in the end it became about the last thing he brought up was the fact that about his incentives.
Yeah.
Why do I need to get incentivized to get a contract? Well, Brady got like $500,000 just for playing in that last game. Like people all over that team made money at the end. OBJ made a big giant swath of cash from the Rams because he got X amount of catches. That's just the way contracts are.
Yeah, he also feels like he didn't get any guaranteed money because he's a fucking risk.
Yeah.
I mean, like Brady had to go lobby for this to happen. And look, like Brady had all the clout in the world in Tampa Bay, so he had to go like lobby for this to happen. And they signed him for the minimum.
Do we think at all had Antonio Brown not had the
You stole my question.
Okay. is the outcome different in their playoff game? It's hard to say that it wouldn't be.
We don't have any stats, so I don't know what Antonio Brown was averaging in the postseason prior to that, or like in the last few games of the season leading up to that. But
he was having a good season.
He was having a good season, and Chris Godwin was out, so he was vital.
They almost won that game they almost won that playoff game without.
I mean, Brady almost pulled it out of the hat for Tampa Bay. He they let him get way too close. Like the Rams let him get way back into that game than they shouldn't have. I think Antonio Brown could have theoretically. I think he could have been the difference.
I will say that I don't think he plays again.
I just don't see another team who's that desperate.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe with the XFL or the USFL coming back.
Yeah.
Like maybe a team throws some money at him just as a publicity stunt.
Maybe. Speaking of Brady, Tom Brady, 44, retires. I think he finished. Did he finish second in the MVP?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Hard to argue it. I hated the Patriots' dominance, but he was a integral part of it, and he proved that he was just as important as Belichick when he went to a completely different team and won his first year there.
Yeah, I mean, if barring injuries on the Tampa Bay Bucks, like on the offensive side, like we mentioned, I think it could be a very different Sunday tomorrow if there wasn't the injuries on offense. So
yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see anybody that dominant again in the NFL. I mean, the fact that this dude, like for the last 20 years, he's played in 50% of the Super Bowls.
Correct. That's ridiculous.
That's fucking crazy. Like the goddamn Texans can't even get into the goddamn the AFC Championship game, and Brady's playing in 10 Super Bowls.
Yeah, the Cowboys
and winning 7 of them.
The Cowboys have not been to an NFC Championship game in like 27 years. And Brady's been to like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to imagine.
I think he's been to 13 championship games, I think is what it was.
It's ridiculous.
I think what's so weird is I feel like it wasn't that long ago where there was legitimate debate on like who the greatest quarterback of all time was. And I think, when I say not that long ago, I mean like 10 years ago, like it was, Brady or Manning, right? And I feel like depending on who you were talking to, I think this was right after Manning had won his Super Bowl in Denver. Like you could make an argument for either one. And I feel like now at this point, even just 10 years or however many years later,
there's a big gap now.
It's like it's not even remotely. I don't even think you can discuss it at all at this point.
No, I don't think so.
Dude, I don't know. Eli Manning put out a video talking about just giving like Tom some congratulations and stuff. And he's like, Tom won his first Super Bowl while I was still in college watching him do it. And he was still winning Super Bowls after I retired.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's crazy. I mean, Eli played in the league for, I don't know, 10 years, 11 years.
There are players in the NFL that weren't born when he won his first Super Bowl.
Yeah. And they got to see him while they were playing in the league win his last one.
Yeah.
Another topic here. 17-game season. Did it fucking mean anything whatsoever?
Hey, one more question on Tom Brady back there. Do we think he's actually gone for good?
I meant to ask that.
I think so. I think he wants to spend time with his kids.
Would you? The answer is yes, but on what position? Like, would you want to see Tom Brady, or do you think Tom Brady comes back as a coach in any capacity for any team?
Could the Houston Texans hire him as their head coach next season?
Yeah.
No, I mean like I guess would you want to see Tom? Do you think Tom Brady will ever coach anything in the league?
No. I think he's done. I think he's. I mean, you're talking about somebody who his whole life, 24 hours a day, revolved around professional football. I think he wants to I think he actually wants to have a life. Like he might be 300 pounds in a year because he finally started eating bread again.
Yeah, plus he's got a lot of businesses and stuff outside the league and all that stuff as well. So I don't think there's ever going to like.
Well, I think the big thing
I
with
feel
Tom,
like playing to this age, I feel like he got like a lot of that out.
I think the last thing I want to say about Tom, unless you guys got anything you want to add, is we never got to see, and the reason why I think we'll never see anyone like Tom Brady ever again, like ever, is we never saw him dip in performance, like ever.
Man, very, very rarely. I mean, he had a couple of like mass seasons, but never anything terrible.
Like Manning's last season, it was very apparent, in my opinion, that Manning had lost a step, like or two.
Yeah, when he's throwing those lame ducks out there.
Yeah, when he had lost like 10 miles per hour on his fastball.
Like
still won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, like now, I mean, we didn't see that at all from Tom. Like, you know, he's pretty much on point the whole time.
I mean, he led the league in passing this year in his last year at 44.
Arguably was the MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the 17-game season, it didn't mean anything.
It meant something for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, it meant something for a few people who broke some records like that. But, I mean, there was a lot of controversy going into the season that 17 games is this and that. And, you know, the player injuries were going to go up and it was just too much and yada, yada. I don't think it really meant anything. Like, it's going to affect the record books long term.
Yeah.
But I don't think this really – I think it was a lot to do about nothing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, gents. This could be just in my own brain, but did they also shorten the preseason?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it ended up being the same amount of total games, but
my question with that, and this is kind of sidestepping your question, or this is like a question adjacent to yours.
Tangent?
Yeah, well, it's adjacent to your question, right? Do we think shortening the preseason had a bigger effect than adding a game?
It did. I still think they're stupid.
Just because you don't get a chance to see those fringe players maybe make an impact when you
the majority of the players that you have in your preseason games, there's a reason why they're in those games. Even your first round picks, your second round picks, your third round picks, they don't play a whole bunch in the preseason unless they're going to become a starter. And so when you get these guys and they're heavy game minutes in these preseason games, it's usually because mentally they take a little longer to figure it out. And you're taking that away from them. They have all the physical tools. Maybe they weren't very good in college, their freshman year, the sophomore year, junior year, but come senior year, they had enough. They did enough, got themselves a chance on a roster. And I think you take that away from these younger guys that are in the league that need more time to develop. And they didn't expand the practice roster large enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To get enough of these young guys more time.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of hubbub at the beginning of the year. By the end of the year, I feel like, it was such a good season. We were on such a good string of games, and you had that Chargers and Raiders game to end the year. So I feel like everybody was wrapped up in the same thing we're wrapped up in a 16-game season. What are the playoff scenarios? Win and you're in kind of thing. I don't think it was a big deal.
Yep.
All right, so now we're going to dive into a little bit of personal talk here. I'll go first. Cowboys talk. The Cowboys season pretty much went exactly how I thought it would. I thought we'd get into the playoffs and lose to whoever we played first. In our predictions, I thought we were going to lose to the Rams because that was the first round matchup. And we didn't lose to the Rams, but we lost to the 49ers.
Yeah.
And again, the season played out how I thought. I wish we could have unloaded Kellen Moore to the Dolphins, but they picked a better person. I wish we could have fired Mike McCarthy, but we didn't. The team lacks identity. Nobody on any opposing defense is ever gonna game plan to stop Tony Pollard. If you don't have an identity and you're going to pass it as much as we do, which was almost 60% of the time, that's the advantage to the defense. That's what happened.
Yeah. I think I'm more surprised that they're going to run it back with everybody.
Yeah.
I think I almost wonder if there was like a side conversation with Dan Quinn between Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Dan Quinn. Like,
I absolutely believe what you're about to say.
Because I feel like Dan Quinn would have been a strong candidate for a lot of jobs. I wonder if they brought him back thinking like we might need this guy as an interim head coach next year when we fire Mike McCarthy 4 games into the season.
Yeah, dude, I liked their defense. I really expected McCarthy to rein in Kellen Moore on the offensive side of the ball. If you look at Dallas's first, I think 6 or 7 games, they were 6-1. Ezekiel Elliott was averaging 18 carries a game. Dak had, I think, around 30 pass attempts a game, and they were 6-1. From that point on, Zeke had so few carries that he finished the season with like 11 carries a game. And my metric was the closer that Dak got to, I think it was 35 passes or 38 passes a game, worse off we're going to be. And that's the way it played out. Like, McCarthy he lacks the balls to rein in his own offensive coordinator and say, hey, listen, I want to pound it. You know, if you're going to play action on every play, you would expect at least the defense to think you're going to run it once in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe Dan Quinn's that guy.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm always surprised by how patient Jerry Jones is. Like, as much as we hear about Jerry Jones and like, I want to win, and you get the feeling like he would be impatient. I mean, he gave Garrett, 6 seasons?
Oh, no. He had 8.
Well, 6 as head coach, right? Or 8 as head coach?
I think it was 8 years as head coach. 7 or 8 years.
How long did he give Dave Campo? 4 seasons?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The only mistake that he truly made that he realized was Barry Switzer. I think Switzer made it 2 seasons. 2 or 3 seasons before he just
we did it our way, baby.
Oh God, I get bile in my throat every time I hear that.
I love it. I love throwing that in your face. Hey, look, anytime the Texans win a Super Bowl and you want to throw that back in my face, I'll. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Segue to the Texans.
Mm.
Where do you want to start?
I got a 4-letter word for you guys.
Okay.
Hope.
Hope.
I feel like maybe we didn't arrive at this choice of a new head coach. The way other teams might. Okay, Nick Carsterio, his mind works in ways that we don't even understand yet. Okay,
I think you're being far too kind, but I'll let you finish.
Somehow, Dave, he worked his way around to what I think it's not the sexy choice, but I think this is a good choice. We hired Lovie Smith to be the head coach.
I think it's a good choice as well. It's not the choice I would have made.
Yeah,
but of what was available when they finally pulled the trigger, he was probably the second best candidate.
Yeah. Look, will we really ever know? Did they really ever offer, or were they going to offer Brian Flores? Did the lawsuit have anything to do with it? I don't think we'll ever definitively know that. I would like to think that with the quickness that we fired Dave Culley after Brian Flores was fired, I 100%. I mean, just from an optic standpoint. I think that was what we were going to do, was try to hire Brian Flores, and then something went south. Either we talked to him and he was like, well, okay, maybe I got the Texans gig in my back pocket. Let me see if I can get a better gig somewhere else. And then the whole thing kind of fell apart. I don't know. That's all speculation. But
I hope we get – I do hope that we get whatever that was made public at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I think
curiosity. I don't think there was anything deceivious. I'm curious to know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it is disappointing to initially find, that the initial reports were that someone who has zero coaching experience on any professional level was a top candidate for this head coaching position. That part I think is slightly unforgivable, and I think honestly, I think that alone potentially could put Nick Caserio in the hot seat. And because if assuming that was partially his decision, you know, there's a lot of drama, you know, behind the scenes with the Texans that, you know, I don't think this podcast is well equipped to fully discuss, but you know, I will say that it was, you know, hearing that McCown was a top finalist, you know, if those reports are true, I'm disappointed in that just for the sake of him being a finalist. And as far as the Lovie Smith hire, like, look, you know, the Texans are my team, so obviously I'm gonna do my best to root for them. But I will say that they have made it difficult to stick with them over the course of, you know, the last few seasons. And you know, I think it all kind of started with the egregious trade of DeAndre Hopkins and the lack of return on that. And it's been pretty much downhill from there. Let's be really honest. Now, to your point, Josh, I think Lovie Smith does give me hope. You know, I think it's fortunate that he was on our roster last year, and we, you know, all the players seem to be rallying around the hire. And you know, there's promise of Davis Mills. We'll see what we have in him. You know, he did outperform every quarterback every rookie quarterback, this last season outside of Mac Jones. So I mean, he could be something. With the potential of what we're gonna get, you know, from Deshaun Watson, if we can make that happen, which is a whole nother story in and of itself. If we can get anything of note for him in terms of draft capital, shit, man, we could be going into the draft with, you know, a lot more capital than we do now, and it could be really exciting.
Yeah, I think. I mean, look at. I'm not saying what this is going to sound like I'm saying.
Look at the Bengals.
I'm just saying, look at the Bengals, right? I mean, they won 2 games and they won 4 games, and now they're in the goddamn Super Bowl. Okay, so these turnarounds don't have to take that long if we can find the right mixture of everything. Now, granted, the Bengals have a little bit deeper of a roster than we do, and by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. Okay.
Well, I think the key thing is they got Joe Burrow, they have Mixon, like they. And wide receiver, I blank on his name, but they also got him.
Jamar Chase.
Yeah. So they drafted well, and they did it in a short period of time.
And they hit home runs on Chase and on Mixon.
Burrow.
Oh, no. Yeah, Burrow. Well, I mean, Burrow was amazing in his last season, so there was hope that he would be what you draft. But especially with a undersized, speedy wide receiver, you're just waiting for that guy to blow a tire. Yeah. And in the preseason, he was having problems catching the ball, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, here we go again." And then the guy was like every team's kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm optimistic in the sense of the Texans seasons. I think we win more games than last year. How many more? I mean, look, let's see how this all shakes out with the draft picks that we get. But
I think we're 2 years away. I think we're 2 years out.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, again, this Deshaun Watson thing, I mean, this could be our Herschel Walker, hopefully, right? I mean, this could be a great train robbery. And could parlay this into the next Alvin Harper.
I mean, at this point, shit. I mean, I would settle for 2. I mean, look, I'm getting to the point with this Deshaun Watson thing where, like, they're 1 and 3 firsts and some other stuff. Like, look, I take 2 firsts and 2 seconds and call it a fucking day. Yeah. Like that even sounds like, honestly, even me saying that out loud, I just get this I get this sinking feeling that Deshaun, we're not even. I think we're not even going to be able to trade him. Like, I just get this weird feeling like he's gonna get, like, things are not gonna go well because this stuff still isn't resolved. And if we were, you know, like, as of last year around this time when we did this, like I would have thought this would have been resolved by now. And I feel like the longer this goes on, not resolved, the more and more I think that it's just not going to end well.
Yeah. Last point I'll make on Davis Mills is I think it's a good thing that we're going to go with Davis for the season. Because look, one of two things happen. He's fucking great, and we got our guy, and we don't have to pay him a boatload of cash for a couple more seasons, and we can really leverage that. Or he's dog shit, and we fucking suck it up next year. And next year's draft is very good on quarterback, especially at the top.
Oh, if he plays just as good this next season, and we build around him, I mean, he was more than adequate last year. Especially towards the back half when he retook over for Tyrod, he wasn't the reason, in my opinion, that we were losing most of those games.
Well, Pep Hamilton likes to run the ball, and he likes to throw deep, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. Every mock I see has a running back.
Well, after Dallas cuts Ezekiel Elliott because he's a cap casualty and he doesn't do anything. Maybe the Texans can scoop him up for the vet minimum or something.
Exactly. I would rather have them trade Zeke or cut him outright and just use that money.
I think there's a legitimate chance that Ezekiel Elliott is on another team next year,
sooner rather than later. Look, if you're not going to use him, why pay him?
Yeah.
All right, so let's. That was the season that was. Let's get into the playoffs. We were decent in our predictions. We only missed.
I remember we were better on the NFC side.
Correct. We were 2 teams in the NFC. We missed out on Seattle and Minnesota. I still do not quite understand what the hell happened to the Seahawks. This last season, their defense decided they just did not want to play football anymore.
Yeah, Russell Wilson hurt his, he broke his thumb or something like that? He was out for 5 games.
Yeah, and then the Vikings, well, I mean, you got Kirk Cousins.
You like that?
Yeah. Really don't need to go that much further than that.
Is this era of the Seahawks over? Like, is the window closed for them?
I don't know. It's closing rapidly.
I think as long as you got Russell Wilson, I don't think you can ever really write them off. But they're going to have to reevaluate some things.
They need defense.
They remind me of essentially like a Green Bay, where it's like all they have is quarterback, and as soon as they don't have that, they're going to be done.
Well, they're deep. They're deep at receiver. I mean, they got DK, they got Tyler Lockett. They had Rashard Penny come up big for him at running back this year. But the problem is they traded some. Is it 2 first-round picks or just 1 for Jamal Adams? I know it's at least 1 because the Jets have their first-round pick this year, and it's another good pick. So they need to rebuild, and they traded a pretty key piece after their shitty season to the Jets. I think it's the 10th pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they need defense for sure.
All right. Well, hey, I didn't want to get too off topic here.
All right. So anyway, but in the NFC, we were pretty close. I mean, we had, as far as the conference round, we had Bucks, Rams, and Green Bay. All vying for their chance to play an NFC Championship game. We had the Bucks and Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game. So once again, we were right there. We just missed out on the Rams.
Yep. Yeah, I thought I know I was riding the 49ers pretty hard to get them into the conversation. And I really thought that they were going to show up a lot bigger in the playoffs. I mean, they did a good job. They knocked out somebody here in this conversation. I don't know. And they also knocked out the damn Packers. So, the 49ers did some shit.
Yeah, they did.
But
I mean, we were
I thought they were. I thought they would take out the Rams.
I thought the Rams. I believe, and I'm wrong. That's fine. I undersold Stafford. I figured that we were going to be good for a couple of those Stafford games where he just throws, 4 interceptions or something crazy.
I think he just might have been conditioned to the talent that was around him at Detroit.
In Detroit, post Calvin Johnson.
Yeah. I mean, because Matt's been lights out.
Yep. Now on the AFC side, we missed on 3 teams: the Browns, which is kind of our little fan favorite over here. They just imploded.
Yeah.
The Chargers, who, if you're not aware, eliminated themselves.
They were the Raiders were gonna just let it go in a tie, but fucking Brandon Staley called the timeout to stop the clock.
Yeah, forcing the Raiders to have to kick a field goal because after they called the timeout, you're not going to just go out there and just take a knee.
Nope.
So the Chargers eliminated themselves, ruining our hot take because that also put the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs.
Yeah. And
then we missed out on Miami. Miami was the team that I fought to get into this bracket, and they were one of the worst teams to start the year and one of the best teams to end the year.
I mean, they were not to bring this back to Brian Flores, but they won 8 of their last 9 games, and their head coach still gets fired.
And their defense was lights out during that 9-game stretch.
Weren't they the only team in NFL history to not only have a 7-game losing streak, but a 7-game winning streak? Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, and then they fired their head coach, who's going to be unemployed going into next season. That's just a shame.
Yeah.
So we got, as far as the divisional round, we got Bills. We had the Bills and Chargers, Titans, and KC. Again, pretty close. We had Bills versus KC in the AFC Championship game, and we laid. Look, at least
what a fucking game!
That was an amazing. I'll say this: this is one of the best
postseasons
playoffs. Yeah, I can remember.
Yep. For sure.
But
that fucking game, Josh Allen, he couldn't have had a better playoffs. I mean, I think he almost had, I forget what the number was, but I think he almost had more touchdowns than incompletions. Yeah. Dude, that's fucking great. And it was 9 or 10 touchdowns in 2 games.
He had if I remember right, he had the highest QBR ever for a quarterback who did not make it to the Super Bowl.
Yep. I got a buddy of mine that's a big Buffalo Bills fan. You can go look at Buffalo Bills Instagram and see this big motherfucker in the stands, it's super icy cold outside. This is the guy we ended up hiring because Dave turned me down. This dude is a huge fan, and I remember the day that they drafted Josh Allen, and he's like, "Dude, I fucking wish we drafted Baker Mayfield. Fucking Josh Allen, what a piece of shit."
I bet you he's not saying that now.
No, I'm like, "Hey man, I'll trade you Deshaun for Josh Allen straight up." He's like, "Dude, fuck that."
Man, I mean that brings to the table about the overtime, right? Because that game,
but we saw it work out the next week. Where this isn't the fun answer, but stop them.
Yeah,
stop them on defense.
I hate it.
And I sympathize.
In that game, it sucked because Josh Allen would have gone right back down the field. So in that moment, it sucks. But overall, I think Cincinnati proved that it's a viable system.
I don't disagree, but you have to at some point take into account player safety in overtime rules.
Yeah,
and I don't really particularly care for overtime. If it was me, you could do away with overtime during the regular season, and then fucking fix the overtime rules in the playoffs to allow each team to have a possession no matter what happens.
Yeah, I don't see why they don't just change that. Okay,
well, look, I get it. what Josh said. You don't want them to score, don't let them score. But I understand that the other side of it. Look, I would be so pissed off if I was a Bills fan because Josh Allen was playing. You're right. He would have went right down there and got a touchdown.
I would be all about like, oh, let just the defense just has to stop them. But for the last however many years, the rules of the game have been geared more towards the offense, like pass interference calls and everything. Yeah. The offense has an advantage, so like you can't just say, oh, just stop them. Well, you've been neutering the defense forever. You can't just stop them. Like.
Cincinnati stopped him.
Yes, you're always going to have an example that's going to fit your narrative. What I just feel like it's in a playoff scenario, you got to give the ball to both. Like it doesn't matter. Like having a touchdown.
So what happens if Josh Allen goes down and scores? Then what do we do?
And you just keep going.
So what happens if they finish the overtime period tied? Then they doing a whole nother quarter?
Yep.
Dog, this ain't extra innings where guys are just sitting around eating sunflower seeds, bro. Like these guys are gonna get cramped up and fucking like hurt themselves.
I would not mind doing a variation of what they do in college, but instead of say putting the ball at the 25, put it at the 50 or the 45.
I don't know, dude. Maybe you do it like soccer and you get penalty kicks. Just like put each team's kicker out there, start at the 20-yard line, and just start moving backwards until one of them misses.
Oh my God, that would be some high intensity though. I tell you that because like everybody on the sideline be like, I swear to God, if you go out there and you miss these field goals, I'm going to kill you.
I mean, dude, I would like look. Obviously, that would be less exciting, but then now
I don't know, dude.
That's true. I mean, look, I could picture that.
That'd be pretty fun.
I mean, imagine if
if you had the Bengals and the Ravens, and you had Justin Tucker versus this kid that the Bengals drafted, Evan McPherson. Like this kid's a fucking animal for a kicker. 5th round draft pick. This dude gets up whenever it's his time to go kick this ball, and he tells his team, "Hey guys, we're going to the AFC Championship game." And he goes out there and kicks the field goal to fucking do it. That guy's an animal.
Pretty ballsy.
Look, I mean, look, hey, let's do that. Let's just kick to win, dude. Fuck it.
Okay, so here we go. Super Bowl. Rams versus Cincinnati. This will be the second consecutive year that the home team is actually going to be playing the Super Bowl in the.
How weird is that? It never happened before last year. Now it's back-to-back years.
Crazy. They're going to need to stop this.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Cincy versus the Rams. Each team has actually scored the exact amount of points per game. The Rams defense has given up just barely 0.2 points less per game. Both are pretty similar in rushing yards and passing yards. Both teams, I would say Cincinnati runs the ball a little bit more than the Rams, equaling just about 2 minutes more of time of possessions per game.
Both younger coaches.
Yeah, 36 and 38. He's from the McVay tree. Zach Taylor is.
What do we think?
So I'll just come out first. I kind of, part of me wants, like, I'm happy for Matt Stafford because I feel like of the quarterbacks from his era, he's just never been widely recognized as like he's always been recognized as good, but I feel like that's basically where it ends for him in terms of conversation. Like, he's going to throw for a lot of yards, and that's basically it. So like part of me is like, man, I'm really happy for him. Like this might be his only, I don't know how long his career is going to be with LA, but
they're all in for this year.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. This might be his one last shot, like real shot at a Super Bowl.
I think it is.
But
one shot, one opportunity.
Yeah.
He sees everything he ever wanted.
Yeah, mom's spaghetti.
Yeah.
But dude, man, it's hard not to just like get behind the Cinderella story of the Bengals. So I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna predict the Bengals. It's not. I was gonna say upset, but I'm gonna go with the Bengals here.
Just last week. You were picking the Rams.
I'm allowed to change my mind, Jason. I'm a grown-ass man.
Okay. All right. I mean,
I think
over here. Just saying.
I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be very, very close. God, I hope it doesn't get decided by overtime. But I think it will come down to the wire. And man, a part of me, after Josh just said that about the kicker, part of me hopes it comes down to the Cincinnati kicker winning it.
Okay. So Dave, you pick Cincinnati. Who is the MVP of the Super Bowl?
It's hard not to go with Joe Burrow, but I'm gonna. Part of me wants to go with Mixon because I feel like he's just an animal when he gets going, and I feel like the Rams did have some trouble stopping the run at one point or another recently. I don't know if it was their last game or the game before.
They have their defense has given up more rushing yards this season than Cincinnati.
Yeah,
by a lot.
Yeah.
Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, look, man. The Bengals are super fun. There's a couple of former Texans on the team, particularly DJ Reader, who it sucked to see that dude leave. And
animal in the playoffs.
Yeah. And look, he didn't leave and talk shit about the Texans like Charles Omenihu, who's sitting on the bench at home right now, or D-Hop, who's sitting on the bench. I was like, that dude left, got a nice contract from the Bengals, and look, whatever his opinion is, he didn't talk shit. So I'm a big DJ Reader fan. I hope he does well. I think about the Bengals game against the Titans where they gave up 9 sacks to the Titans, and it would have been 11 sacks if there wasn't a couple of delayed games there. And the Titans have a good defensive line for sure, but they don't have the Rams defensive line with Aaron Donald, Von Miller. Like, dude, I think the Rams defense is going to fucking feast on the Bengals. I don't think it's going to be a close game. You got Jalen Ramsey out there. I mean, look, the Cincinnati Bengals are super blessed to have like probably the best group of receivers in the league. Maybe outside of Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their big three, or what it was with Antonio. But Jalen Ramsey is going to shut down somebody, probably Jamar Chase. So you're really going to have to depend on the other two guys to win that game for you, because Aaron Donald that guy is unbelievable. I think it's the Rams, and I think it's the Rams by 10 or more.
All right, who do you have as Super Bowl MVP?
Aaron Donald.
Okay, going defender. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so here's my prediction for the Super Bowl. All of my family on my dad's side, all huge Ram fans. So I will
huge.
I'll be wishing them luck. Having said that, I hate to make this pick. But Burrow has been on fire for the entire second half of the season. And on fire in the playoffs. They have a burner at wide receiver, and they run the ball to set up the pass. And when they do pass, it's explosive. I believe that Cinderella team actually goes through this, and Cincinnati will win the Super Bowl tomorrow. And Dave, you were right. The difference in this game is going to be Mixon. And if Cincinnati wins the Super Bowl, it'll be because of Mixon. And even though my Burrow probably going to put up good numbers and he'll be nominated for it, Mixon will be the reason why. And so he will win the MVP. I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I hope it's not a blowout for either team. This will be the first Super Bowl in a very long time where I really don't care who wins, because to one side of it, like I am rooting for Stafford to win a Super Bowl. And on the other side, Cincinnati's never won shit. So like I said, I think it's going to be a great game.
To what Josh said earlier, I mean, I'm kind of, for a while there, the Texans were shutting down Cincinnati when they had the Red Rocket or whatever at quarterback.
Oh, Andy Dalton, where we were playing him in the first round every year.
Yeah, just wiping them out.
Yeah.
I mean, look, J.J. Watt's pick 6 to end the first half.
Might be the best Texans memory
ever
that we have.
I feel like that was the moment that J.J. Watt became J.J. Watt. That was his rookie season.
Yeah.
But man, that's so long ago now. You know,
it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Cincinnati, and to your point, Josh, like their rebuild happened pretty fast.
I think they're just young enough and just dumb enough not to get so caught up in this that they shoot themselves in the foot.
No, I mean, look, Joe Burrow's got that swagger. I mean, I've seen what that does.
Dripping.
He is dripping with that swag, dude.
Yeah.
It's like Swag Donald's over there, dude. You can you know.
Dude, how mad is Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, Joe Burrow going to the Super Bowl right now, and they could have had the chance to draft that motherfucker.
Yeah.
If Brian Flores had just lost those games.
Yeah. For $100,000 each.
Yeah.
I'll lose some football games for $100,000.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
I'll lose all 16 and 17 of them for you.
Ow.
I won't even try to win one.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot worse you two would do for that amount of money that we won't mention on this podcast.
I'll put 5 guys on the field for defense every play.
I thought you were gonna say you could put 5 guys on you.
Look, they'll never be able to run. They'll never be able to run against my 12-man front on every play.
But I think it'll be regardless. I think I'll be happy whoever wins. I'll be able to find somebody to root for on both sides of the ball. Yeah. So,
look, dude, this is legitimate. Like, I'm not even saying this to be a dickhead, dude. I hope Joe Burrow doesn't get a game. I think he's going to get hit fucking early and often.
I think they feed Joe Mixon in order to slow that down.
Okay, we'll see.
I agree. I think you could see them challenge Ramsey if he's going to be stuck on Chase the whole game, just to check his speed check. It'll be a gear check for Ramsey.
Look, I think they learned from the Titans game, and I think
you think they're going to put extra padding on Joe Burrow? They're going to put a flak jacket on him?
Yeah, for sure.
They're just going to let him wear his faux.
I think the problem is that Joe Burrow was in his retribution talent spec. You know, he's switching to prot. You know, so he's good now.
That's not good for offense.
No, but that's fine. He's got the DPS to help him out with that, so he'll be good.
Nice.
Well, guys, I think we wrapped it up. Did you miss anything?
No,
I'm looking forward to the preseason pod that we get to do for the next year after we get to see this unbelievable return of draft picks we get for Deshaun Watson and the epic draft that Nick Carsterio brings in for the Texans. So I'm excited.
Look, whenever we're talking about Davis Mills as potential Super Bowl MVP next year, I'll be glad I'm talking about it with you fellas.
And
look, early 3 guys in a mic prediction right now. Texans, Cowboys, next Super Bowl. Let's go.
I'm telling you right now, if that ever happens, I mean this, and I want this to be on record. I'm going to mute the chat that we have with each other. Don't call me during the game. Don't text me, especially if it's close. Now, if the Texans are crushing Dallas, then I'll probably call Josh.
We're turning the chat back on.
Yeah. But if Dallas, if it's a close game, like if it's down to the fourth quarter, like 5 minutes, like bro, my phone's gonna be off, like 100%.
If the Texans lose, I won't be able to talk to you guys for like 2 weeks.
3 guys in a mic is gonna go on. 3 guys in a mic is going on a month-long vacation.
Yeah.
Because I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna wait till we go live, where I can't get away, and be like, guys, so.
How about that Super Bowl?
And
you're about them Cowboys?
And you're gonna see me disappear from this chat.
Well, I to say what I look forward to the Cowboys drafting a running back
and a head coach
and another wide receiver.
Can they just draft a head coach instead?
I would. I wish they could.
All right, I think we successfully completed another podcast.
Yeah. Hey. So next week, we're going to have some fun. We're bringing back the brackets here. So we're going to be doing the best movies from 1992. Look, I don't want to give away all the movies, but if I could just tell you to watch one movie before we get there next week.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
It's on Netflix.
Everybody should watch this movie. It's 100% worth your time.
It's a movie. It's 100% a movie.
Yeah. You should check that out because we're gonna spend a solid 30 minutes talking about that next week.
30 minutes.
In the meantime, though, live long and prosper.
Take it easy, everybody.